You know who else deadlifts and bench presses a lot?
Me.
Use nuts.
Welcome to the UDP broadcast, a podcast where a group of friends get together and talk about gaming-related topics and offer both informed and uninformed opinions. My name is Luminary, and I'm accompanied today by my fantastic co-hosts, the Nordic Cajun.
I got the unga if you bring the bunga.
The Eternal Barcode, Imee.
I hate Windows right now. Hi!
You should go consume their bandwidth.
I'm going to. Microsoft is going to be hit with a massive DDoS tomorrow. And since I've said I'm going to eat their bandwidth, people are like, oh, you attacked them. No, I was hungry and I didn't want to make waffles.
That's all right. You survive on bits and bytes.
They will suffer.
And from the Emerald Dream, Reina, the Crit Chicken.
You might not have the unga or the bunga, but I have the pew pew for your poo poo.
Hey.
Wait,
what? I'm gonna
That's
shoot
a
you in
little
the
awkward.
ass.
I just saw this image you posted in host chat. That is a test tube shot.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. Go look in host chat.
The Alabama Slammer.
I'm saving it for the really good first crit dad joke of the evening.
Good Lord.
Listen. I know that was awkward, but you have to think about it this way. I'm always awkward. It's my brand of awkward.
Yeah,
Yep.
we love
That's
it.
on brand for you.
Accept it. Accept it.
Good.
We stand an awkward crit.
Or ask Tiamat what happened.
Yep.
No.
Episode 98. We are here. 2 more till 100.
Big
Hell,
number.
Did you
that,
guys want to know? Did you want to know something?
what's that?
Right before we start. 10% of all the revenue generated by the show goes to the Trevor Project, and our mascot Ping has more info.
The Trevor Project is the leading organization working to end LGBTQ youth suicide in the US and beyond. The non-profit operates several programs to help prevent and respond to the public health crisis of LGBTQ youth suicide, including 24/7 free crisis services, research, advocacy, education, and peer support.
Well, there you go. That sounds like a worthwhile organization that we've been donating to for the last 2 years. So
Absolutely. And I highly recommend that no one try and sue us from any company that may not like what we have to say, because it's an opinion show and we're allowed to have opinions, and you can go, pound dirt and eat sand.
Yep.
Take a flying leap.
Our views are our own, and I'm going to enforce them on you. So get over it.
Yeah, and I'm American, and I have freedom of speech. Understand?
God damn it. All to say, give me your bandwidth. Don't even try and come after us. Bye-bye.
Well, I'm going to feed you some bandwidth right now because you brought up
Oh,
a
yeah.
pretty good topic about Stellar Blade.
God damn it, Snoy. I made a reference to that in another Discord, and they had no clue, so I had to walk them through everything, including the screenshot. And unfortunately, the person edited their original amazing review to just say, Snowy bad, Helldivers good. But Snowy, or Sony, as they used to be known until the automatons from Helldivers 2 got a hold of them, they have restricted Stellar Blade's PC release. Unsurprisingly. It's region locked in 130 countries. How weird. It's almost as if those 130 countries are not PlayStation Network ready and have no access to PlayStation Network. And this is not the first time they've done this. They have done that to various other games, including but not limited to, obviously, Helldivers, because 200,000 negative reviews is really going to hurt. God of War Ragnarok. And there was a third one, what was it? Horizon Forbidden West. And Horizon Forbidden West, they put that lock on 10 months after it was released. And that game has no online component. So when Sony sits there on their high horse and says, oh, we're not going to force this on you, but then still region locks it to only countries that have PSN, I'm going to call bullshit. Straight up, I don't believe you. I think you're lying. And I think what you're trying to do is wait 5-6 years before you force it on us, hoping, the fervor will have calmed down and people will have forgotten. But I got 2 middle fingers for you, Sony, and I'm giving them to you right now, because fuck you. And I think you're a bag of shit. Anyways, hi.
There you go.
These big companies just continue to give us reasons to look towards the indie developers and stay with them over and over and over. They keep forgetting that without us, they don't get money.
Yep.
Without
The
us,
the
they cease to exist.
and the worst part is Helldivers had like the team at Helldivers had to fight really hard to get that restriction lifted, but again, Sony has prevented it being played in various countries that are not PlayStation Network compatible, and that also meant that people who'd already bought the game were fine to play, but anybody in those countries that want to buy the game can't anymore because on release day there was no region lock. And in this article from PC Gamer, I can appreciate the effort. Somebody went through the potential reasons why you might want to region lock things, and the very loose claim or loose reasoning is, oh well, it's gonna be cheaper in some areas, and we don't want people buying cheap keys and reselling them elsewhere. Did you know that Steam has region locking for keys? Weird how that works.
I
It's
mean,
like
yeah,
you could region lock the keys, and yeah, you'll probably get some piracy in those regions, but at the same time, you're not coming across as an asshole. And
yeah.
between Sony and Nintendo racing to the bottom of seeing who could shove their heads up their asses the farthest, I don't know who's winning right now, but I think both of them can see their tonsils.
Oh,
I don't think this is a winnable situation for anyone. I mean,
No,
unless no, like not even
it's
for the people
awful.
doing it. It's just like, oh, do you like money? You should totally
Well, and I feel bad for any developer that looks to Sony for funding because now you're locked into this contractual bullshit of them region locking your game and preventing 130 countries from playing it. Now, I get blocking the Russian Federation, North Korea, and a few other places. I understand that. However, when you're blocking Dutch Antilles, which is a collection of Dutch islands, when they can just use their Netherlands account and still access the game to buy it, like, I don't understand what goes through your heads. And one of the other country codes that was blocked is a made up one. It's XD or XM, I think it was, and that's for
Hmm.
metropolitan France.
oh yeah, that was
So you just use
FX.
your you just yeah, sorry, and then you just use your French account.
Yeah, there was
Like,
one for Dubai
what
as
is
well. It was like
wrong with
XD.
you? And it still pisses me off. Vatican City, which is its own city state, if you didn't know, is still banned from hell diving. Isn't that the goddamn Pope's job? Is to dive into hell?
yeah.
Shouldn't he be allowed to hell dive?
I would think so. You would
Yeah,
think you want him leading the charge.
exactly.
Could you
Like, what the actual
could you
fuck?
imagine him?
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I
Hey,
think we
could you
lost her mic.
imagine? Well, I'm imagining what you're about to say for sure.
Yeah.
I think her mic died.
Oh, that's terrible. We can't have her mic
It's either
die.
that or got kid aggro, one of the two.
Well, that's fine. We'll let her say
But we'll
the thing
continue.
here.
We'll continue to imagine until she comes enlighten us.
That's right. Good job, Chris. Good job. So,
Oh, her connection to Discord has died.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, Discord.
the voice connected has gone from green little sound wavy thingies to yellow.
Mm,
It's definitely Discord.
There you
Oh,
go.
there
there
you
she
are.
is.
Hi. So what were you
Hi.
saying?
I was gonna say, imagine him going into Helldivers and saying a prayer before, hell diving.
Like,
I didn't
I
know he
wonder.
speaks Greek or Latin or all these different languages that I don't know.
now my boy would go up in there and he would just go rip and tear. Amen. Let's go.
I wonder what the prayer would be to fight the automatons. I wonder if that would be like a
Well,
prayer when you're
ask
about like a litany against the chaos machines, or the Adeptus Mechanicum, or Dark Mechanicum as they're now known.
ask AI, ask Chat GPT what you would
No,
probably. Yes.
no, I see. I use ChatGPT for irresponsible things.
Yeah,
That is
like your wedding
irresponsible.
vows.
I have to ask, what
Oh.
exactly is irresponsible in terms of barcodes? So, what is irresponsible, Amy?
He,
Create a drug
he
warning for the effects of using today as your end of work week Friday if you're still scheduled to work. Include warnings such as it being unhealthy to take a Friday if today is your Monday. ChatGPT delivered. Warning, today as your Friday, when it is in fact your Monday. Using today as your Friday when it is in fact your Monday may result in serious side effects, including, but not limited to, delusional productivity expectations. Believing the week is over may cause sudden drops in motivation, premature celebratory behavior, and severe avoidance of responsibilities. Temporal disorientation. You may experience confusion, denial, or irrational joy, followed by panic upon realizing the week has just begun. Workplace complications. Engaging in Friday mode behaviors, leisure wear, early exits, casual binge scrolling, may result in awkward performance reviews or disciplinary action. Chronological fatigue. Mislabeling Monday as Friday increases the risk of double Monday syndrome, where you must relive the real Monday tomorrow with interest. Social side effects. Coworkers still grounded in reality may exhibit some symptoms of frustration, eye rolling, and passive aggressive Slack messages. Precautions. Do not attempt to weekend prematurely without checking with your calendar, responsibilities, and team expectations. If symptoms of Friday euphoria occur on a Monday, remain calm, hydrate, refocus, and postpone weekend energy until Friday is legally recognized by your work schedule. Consult your leadership immediately if Friday illusions persist for more than 4 hours.
Well, that's
That's how
exciting. That's better than what
That's how
Claude
I
would do.
irresponsibly use it.
Did you see what Claude does?
What's Claude?
Claude is a coding AI bot.
Oh no.
So what Claude will do is that eventually, and I think they said it was like a 96% chance that it will just end up blackmailing you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's just like, well, that's
Ivy,
Yes, my dear.
may I remind you that you also made wedding vows with ChatGPT?
I did. They were the end user license agreement.
Then why wouldn't you use it for a Pope LARP with Helldivers?
That's what I said. Irresponsible usage.
That's a good way to put it. Pope LARP.
Either that or you just put it in the what is it, Warhammer universe. See how he would interact, or what would he be?
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, fine, sure. You guys carry on. I will ask it a new question.
fair enough. Let's move on to
Yay.
Peter Molyneaux. By the way, that last bit I found on, no, it was brought in by PC Gamer. The next one is also from PC Gamer, both of them, about Peter Molyneaux. Do you folks know who Peter Molyneaux is?
Not
No.
that
I've heard his name millions of times, and I always forget it.
He was the head
He
for
did Black and White, didn't he?
Yeah, he was the head for Lionhead Studios, which did Fable, Black and White, Dungeon Keeper, back when it was, I
Yeah.
think it was like Bullfrog or
Dungeon
something like
Keeper.
that.
Fable.
Yeah, so he's like the god representative of God games, pretty much, right? And this includes like Godus and do you remember that one app where it's called Curiosity, where you have to like tap the giant cube with like the rest of the world to beat it down to win a prize?
I vaguely remember that thing.
So, what was interesting about that particular situation was that somebody actually made it to the center. Like the whole world worked on it, and one guy made it to the center because that's how it works. And there was this video that played, and it was Peter Molyneaux talking about all the cool things that this person would receive. And it was a share of the profits of their current game Godus, and they would get to rule the world for all players for a specific period of time. Right, before it changes
That
out.
sounds like a stupid idea.
Oh, it's even better because the game was never finished. The dude never received his reward, and they've moved on to like Lords of Albion or something like that. So Peter Molyneaux is one of the biggest hype men in the gaming industry because like bigger than Sean from the dude the development entity that did No Man's Sky. Hello Games. There we go. So. Because he kind of overpromised. They finally filled in on that promise, but there's one thing I can say about Peter Molyneaux is that none of the promises not all the promises were ever delivered. Like for Fable, he promised that you would grow up and shape your adult life in this game. It was this beautiful soliloquy of all the cool things you could do in this game. It turned out that's not what happened. You were a kid for a period until you hit a cutscene, and then you're an adult. So it's just like,
Dang.
Talk
Talk about letdown.
But he was in the news again. He was talking about a demo that was released for the Kinect. Yeah, you folks remember the Kinect?
Dang, the Connect,
Yes.
really? Wow.
Yeah, he was invited to do something with the Kinect, and they came up with this interactive child entity that you would get to communicate with and hand it stuff. Like if you drew something on a piece of paper and you held it up to hand to him, he would take it and it would show exactly what you had on it. So it was like some interesting, cool stuff. There's a lot of tech behind it, and had a lot of natural speech processing. So it was like you were talking to a child. It was really neat, right?
Hmm.
That's why, yeah, have real kids.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't power the real kid off without jail time. So
It's called melatonin.
this is great mashed potatoes, Mama. Huh? Are you tired yet?
Right, dude.
Would
Yeah,
you like
dude,
some more turkey, sweetheart?
Stay so.
I don't remember much of my childhood, and for good reason, young nugget. Anyway, so either way, one of the things that we revisited back on in this particular article was what happened to it. Well, it was tossed out. I mean, that's the short of it. I would have liked to have seen a interactive entity at that particular stage in technological development without like all the back end AI processing. So it was interesting. So he's got this Masters of Albion that's coming out, and he's hyping it up the best that he can and making some interesting things. Even saying while he's saying, he's like, I shouldn't be saying this. I can get in trouble for saying this, right? Yeah,
Don't fucking say it.
yeah.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm actually kind of looking forward to see what comes out. I'm definitely not going to buy it right out the get just because we're now staring down the barrel of like $80 games.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be. I think there's gonna be a massive uptick in piracy. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's gonna be a huge uptick.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because
Avasi.
you're
Yar.
pricing games so high up that a lot of people are gonna have a hard time paying that.
I mean,
Yep.
I don't
And
mind doing it for World of Warcraft, we have this epic edition. Sure, give me that amount. Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean there are
Yes.
people like you who are going to pay that, but I think a good chunk, and I won't say majority because I obviously can't tell that,
Mhm.
but I think a good chunk of players are going to opt to either not pay for the game and either pirate it or just not get it at all. And I don't think companies fully realize the financial pressure they're putting on people and these demands for endless growth year over year is ridiculous. It's not sustainable.
That's all right.
And
Eventually, it's gonna be more painful to be an iPhone user in the future too, because I think we're looking at a what is it, thousand or so dollar increase because of things moving to the United States rather than having
yeah,
them as they are.
That is excessive.
Yep.
Like,
that's funny. Like, so I've been paying attention to this argument about moving all the manufacturing back home, blah 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 blah. The problem is, and a lot of people have no idea how manufacturing processes work. The first thing you have to do is figure out what you want to build, and then you have to figure out what raw material, uh, minerals and otherwise do you need. If you're going to need plastics of some kind, you need oil facilities and plastic producing companies that can provide the plastic you specifically need. If you have integrated circuits, you need silicon slabs. You need the ability to print those silicon slabs and those chips domestically. So you need supplies of silicone, you need supplies of uh, tin for solder and for the connectors. And like there's so much that goes into manufacturing that people just don't realize that the tooling in North America does not exist. Not even
There's
to
plenty of
build
tools. There's plenty of
there's a lot of
tools.
tools,
No
but
tooling.
no tooling to actually build this stuff. So like even the case, the frame itself is injected or mold injected plastic injected mold, whatever it's called. And the problem with that is you need the machining in North America to make that mold. And right now, most of that stuff doesn't even exist in North America. So it's all being done overseas. And you would have to bring that home. So you have to build brand new factories. A new factory of that size just to print just to make the frames would take years to bring forward and build and get it up to capacity, and then have the skilled labor that could actually use it. And that's the another problem, I think, is that people don't realize that skilled labor is in short supply in North America. And I don't mean skilled labor as in trade tickets or university degrees and stuff like that. I mean people who are nimble with their fingers, who can put things together very carefully. There's not a lot of that skill in North America. And the people in North America want to be paid what they're worth. And yes, I am digging at other countries who pay their people slave wages, or relatively close to that. It is absolutely a dig. And
Now,
you're right. It is going to cost thousands of dollars more, because once you start putting on the markup of covering the cost of the wages, benefits, and everything else, your finished product becomes astronomically expensive.
yeah, that's my
Eventually
biggest
we won't
concern
even
right
have
there.
eventually we won't even have to be worrying about paying for new video games and consoles and stuff like that. Just
We-
make do with what you have, babies.
Yeah, we won't be able
Yep.
to afford it. It is probably one of the worst decisions we've probably ever made, and it screws with the world economy. So it's just like, I mean, what?
Yeah.
To twist a little song that was made years ago in a famous Disney movie, "Let It Burn, Let It Burn."
Well, and I think that's something that people don't realize, is just how much we can't build in North America. Like we literally do not have the facilities to manufacture most of the stuff we use. And if you've got billions to throw at this sort of thing, go for it. And if you're going to give me the excuse of, oh, well, we have airplane manufacturing in North America, yes, we do. That being said, though, these facilities have been, made over years, decades even, that these have existed.
And there's
So there's
also,
a,
can I also bring up the
yeah,
fact of that, yeah, we have manufacturing things for airplanes, but if you look at Boeing, I mean, they literally pay for you to, they pay for your family to go to college. They have all these incentives. They give you free, like some of the students that are coming out of our programs or whatever, they're getting free housing and stuff like that, free, relocation and stuff like that. Everything's given to them pretty much. What are you going to do with being in a plant for making stuff for, cell phones? Nobody's, it's comparing, rotten apples to like, you know, freaking
Crab apples.
whatever. Yeah. It's just like you want something, but you have to understand that we're a consumer nation. We're not a production nation.
No,
Right.
we are a consumer nation. We have consumed ourselves into some crazy, crazy debt. That's for sure.
And also these thighs didn't, get to where they are without consuming. So, haha.
Ah,
Yeah, no, that's my biggest concern about doing this, and this is on top of like I'm projecting 4, but preparing for 8. I don't think in that time they could ever really push all that stuff to the United States, and by the time we actually change presidents, it could just all be rescinded, and there's just a lot of resources wasted. And this is on top of American labor, and I say American as in like the entirety of this side of the planet, right? Because North, South America, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
You can say the Americas.
the
plural.
Americas. Well, some folks like confuse America with the United States, so yeah, you're right, Americas.
It's all my European friends who call Canadians American, and it's the palpable dislike is insane. And I actually
I call you America's hat, and I'm
yeah,
your
but you're America's
pants. So
pants. And
exactly.
Florida is just like,
technically,
Florida-
Florida is America's dick.
I was going to say, like, so North America obviously is made up of Canada, US, and Mexico. And
Aw.
it's appropriate that, Florida's the dick in that regard. I guess that makes
Mhm.
Mexico the tail. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, it's just going to be prohibitively expensive. American labor is not cheap at all. So
It isn't.
This is on top.
Plus,
So
the cost of living is so much higher here.
well, here's the other part about it too. If it's going to be cost prohibitive to even bring this stuff over to the States, all they did was line their pockets with tax money.
Yep.
Because you're still going to buy, because it's probably still going to be cheaper to buy overseas goods than it is to produce it in-house here. In order to make that even palatable to do, like the cost is going to be way more than what we're imposing as far as tariffs are concerned. So,
You know what's funny though? They think that they're sticking it to places like Temu and stuff like that, but we're not the only ones that are consumers. I've been seeing a lot of people. There's been an uptick in people actually buying from Temu in the UK, and I'm thinking that the shipping cost to them is significantly less as well.
well,
Mhm.
yeah,
So it's
it's
not like, so yeah, we're hurting. No, we're not. We really aren't.
yeah. But enough of that. The only reason why I
Sorry.
even entertained this is because, well, what if we brought video game console manufacturing to the States? And so it kind of makes sense. So,
And
If I
that's
could
going to
learn,
be the same thing.
if I could learn how to make my own consoles, I wouldn't have to buy them.
yeah, this is true. This is why I'm trying to learn to make video games as opposed to buying them. But
Yep.
But speaking of video games, let's get back to that. That's the thing that we do.
Sometimes.
Randy Pitchford, Borderlands from GameStop. That. The
Lord.
real disconnect from exactly how things work. Of course, back to the $80 price tag for video games.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
there
is,
was a lot of
here's the
backlash over
thing.
that.
I mean, here's the thing. $80 price tag, I'm gonna be devil's advocate, would make sense 10 to 15 years ago to cover the price of discs and instruction manuals and the box art and the plastic casing that goes all around in all the games. That would make more sense to help cover the cost of the actual shipping of the physical copy. We're in 2025, and every single platform from Snoy to Microsoft to Nintendo are all doing digital. All have digital games that you can download directly to your device, your computer, your phones, everywhere, depending on the system that you use. They're literally, in a lot of ways, phasing out the physical versions of games. You
Like
can
they did
literally,
with World of Warcraft. There's no more disc for that. You can freaking buy the collector's edition digitally. You not have to worry about it being sold out and stuff like that and exclusive.
exactly.
So
And that alone, like I said, back then, 80, 70 bucks would have been a good price point just to cover all of that. Now they're pushing for $80 to be the norm for digital copies, and then an extra $10 on top if you want physical copies. This is more of the example for Nintendo.
because the
It makes no
collectors.
sense. It makes no sense. But for Nintendo, their new cartridges aren't even gamed anymore. They're literally just key holders for the digital version.
Yeah.
So you're not even getting a game anymore. So I don't understand this sudden decision to jump in price. I really don't, other than consumer
Greed. It's
hatred.
all going to be greed, Nord, and you and I both know this. I mean, think about what's coming out of the quadruple and triple A industry, right? I hate saying quadruple A. It's
Bullshit.
So dumb.
It's
Right.
no, it's AAA with a fad label, and we'll just call it failed AAA.
There we go.
Mhm.
So what we're looking at here is that each one of these huge publishers has a formula of how to make money and what is considered fun, which is why whenever you see like Assassin's Creed come out, the gameplay's still the same, whether it's open world or not. Right? This is on top of the live service buzz, which means now you have to have servers up all the time to service, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users. Right? So now you've got a data center farm to deal with. So you've got this whole thing where they have this prescribed formula. If we're going to make money, we have to do this. And this comes back to what Amy said, which is we have to consider the fact that, I forgot what it was. Either way, it's going to be expensive.
I'm sitting here bated breath. What is it? Lumi, tell me.
I'll probably think of it later, close to the end. Like, oh yeah, that thing, and you'll be like, God damn it, Lumi. But
They're
they
going to start realizing that, FOMO is going to equate to FAFO.
Oh yeah, no, there's so much tech wound up into those games to make money rather than to give a good experience. Like take for example, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. That one right there. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. That game is a gem. It was done by ex-Ubisoft developers, and they're from France. And the entire game has a lot of French elements in it, and it is absolutely beautiful. It does things
yeah, you
way
talked about
out of
it
the norm. Yeah, no, it's an absolute great game. Take Balatro.
Mm-hmm.
Balatro, independent game. It does exactly
Yep.
what it says on the tin.
Yep.
And people play the
Numbers go
crap out of it.
burr.
Yeah, numbers go burr.
Yeah, big numbers go bird. That's right.
Right. Take Timberborn.
Timberborn.
Wet beavers.
That one.
Yeah. Timberborn. It's the evil beaver colony death simulator, depending on how well you play.
Oh.
It's a colony game, like a colony survival, but with beavers.
Hmm.
And yeah, you can have them pump water, and when they're in the water pump, there's a log that moves up and down. So technically, they're working their wood. You can absolutely blame Real Civil Engineer from that. I completely stole that from him.
Well, he is the owner of the strongest shape. So, if you take to the fact of the games that I just gave you, right? All of those games outperform most everything that comes out through AAA, and there's always an apology afterwards. It's a buggy mess. They give you the minimum viable product and sell the rest of the product to you in DLC, as opposed to giving you everything. Like No Man's Sky. We haven't had to pay for a DLC yet, and it's been 10 years.
I still haven't played it.
It is also a very good game right now, so I highly encourage you to at least give it a good smack, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, is the $80 price tag necessary? And I don't think so. I think for the sheer amount of bloat that they put into their products and amount of buzzwords they want to meet in order to make the most amount of money possible, which requires a much larger team, which increases the costs all the way around on top of like everything else. Put it simply, smaller teams, smaller publishers, and even still, if you listen to Pirate Software, it is like if you go to the site that he has for encouraging to make video games, and as Amy would tell you, make your fart hotel, and same thing with Thor. Do you need a publisher? Well, no, you don't. You absolutely do not.
Nope.
Because
the only reason you would need one these days is if you are trying to do something and you don't have the money to do it or the talent to do that, in which case getting a publisher to back you and give you money up front does make sense. But otherwise, you don't need them for anything other than just as a temporary piggy bank. But the big thing to keep in mind is that depending on the agreement, more often than not, as a developer, when you team up with a publisher, they will demand to own your intellectual property, which is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Because you see how many times people own an IP and then grind it into the ground because they own the IP and they don't give a shit.
Take a look at Helldivers, right?
I feel bad for
Helldivers
them.
is a fantastic game. It is one of the first
Absolutely.
AAA games that have come out that was complete with very minor bugs right out the gate.
Yeah.
It played really well. It connected
There's a
people
lot of bugs
really
in the
quickly.
game, but
Well, I'm talking like developer bugs, right?
I know.
So,
I'm just being dumb.
That's fine.
but yet you see it in the news where they're still at the mercy of their publisher, who is restricting access to the game that they passionately made to countries
Because of penny pinchers.
Yeah, and there's
Or
no
bean counters sometimes.
and nobody's saying why other than because I can.
Exactly. And that's why I don't like the idea of publishers these days. I used to understand that. I used to be, well, a publisher's good. Now it's like, I think I had a falling out with publishers back. And man, I hold grudges for centuries. Back when Call of Duty Black Ops came out, Activision was, up until the Call of Duty series, was still fairly small. They were, well, not small. They were big, but they weren't a big name. They weren't the place to go to for funding. They released Call of Duty, the whole series. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Modern Warfare was a lot of fun. But when they announced that Modern Warfare 4, or sorry, Black Ops 1 was not going to have a development kit, was not going to have, you know, software development kits, wasn't going to have mods, was going to use the PlayStation, like at the time, the PlayStation matchmaking style connections, and they were getting rid of dedicated servers. I said, well, why am I giving you my money? And I think that's when I had my first, like my entire falling out with Activision, because at that point, it became very obvious they were turning their back on the people who made them as big as they were. Because the Call of Duty series could have been published by anybody, and it would have been a massive hit because the studio behind it was really good at it. And to, when Activision decided that they were going to bar all this stuff from being done, it basically was a shot across the bow of all the players who really supported Activision over the years and made it the company it had become and still is today. And I think that's why I really detest publishers, is because they just don't give a shit. They look at players as a source of income and nothing more. They don't care.
Yep. I'll tell you this right now. If ever I were to be involved with a publisher for any reason because of something that I have made and has been successful, it would be probably for physical editions. That's it. That's all I would use it for. And even still, what would you do with it? Right? We don't, like, I haven't seen a CD-ROM drive in forever, much less a 3.5 floppy disk or 5 1/4. Right? I haven't seen any of those in years. Everything I have is digital, so having a physical product doesn't make sense unless you're getting some sort of swag with it. Like, if I were to do something like that, I'd probably have to put it on a USB key, because every machine has a USB port.
Can I make a confession?
Sure.
The last time I saw a floppy was back in 2007.
That beats me. I don't know
The last time I saw floppy is if I look behind me at my old toolkit that I used to take on site with me when I would, do service calls.
So you
Listen.
collect that stuff.
Well, yeah, he's ancient technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I know.
You're a 700-year-old barcode?
900 and some odd. Whatever the math is of 1063 AD or CE.
Okay, so I'm being generous with my...
I appreciate it. You're not making me out to be that old. That's always nice.
Yeah. So, either way, so this comes down to publisher shenanigans and things like that. I don't exactly enjoy the idea of needing to pay $80 for a bunch of fluff I'm never going to use. Like, I'm tired of seeing all the buzzwords. I'd rather just go play Animal Well or Timberborn or No Man's Sky or any game that is not produced by, like I used to be such a big Square Enix fanboy. Like, they could do no wrong. And for a while there, they would produce quality stuff. Same thing with BioWare, right? But look at the shift of what happened whenever Square Enix became a publisher. Or BioWare, when they were bought by EA, all of a sudden... okay, to make my case, I will just say 3 words. Dragon Age Veilguard. And that's the kind of crap that you get. Overhyped, mediocre, hot garbage. So, is there
garbage?
Yep, so...
Steaming piles.
Randy Pitchford, do we have cell phones? Yes, but I'm not going to use it to look at your stuff. I'm sorry. Borderlands is cool and all, but I actually fear what's actually going to be packed into this game. Like, Borderlands 3 was already controversial with the microtransactions. Same thing with 2, if I remember correctly, because you had to go, get keys. No, the keys weren't purchasable. Borderlands 3 has
you can get those with just codes looking online. You can still do that today.
Yeah.
You can get golden keys and stuff.
Let's see here. But it's like...
I have no idea where I was going that.
Hey, you pulled a Lumi. Fantastic.
I did. I was like, I had a thought and it immediately just vanished. I was like, not that important.
Before we move on to our top whatevers that we're going to do this week, Storecitizen apparently is back in the limelight.
I know what Storecitizen up to.
Apparently they're making something called runners, and I guess that's like on-planet aircraft. I have no idea. It just said runners. And instead of making it available to, because their whole claim is that everything you can buy in their store,
don't tell me my internet cut out right when I made that joke.
No, we can still hear you.
Really?
Oh, okay. So he can't hear us.
Aw.
Well, this is going to be awkward whenever he watches this later.
Is anybody out there?
Yeah.
He's gone.
Can anybody hear?
Rip in peace.
Yeah.
Rip in peace, Nordic.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Freaking internet, dude. I'm.
There we go. We'll give him a chance to come back because it's just like I'm trying to make a point here and he's too busy going, "Hello, is anybody home?"
Fuck you, Discord. I didn't want to disconnect.
I did that mostly because you were talking over everything I was saying.
Was I?
Yes.
Yep.
We could hear
absolutely
you.
I
hear you
could
fine.
not hear you. I could not hear a thing. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
And
It's
like the internet's going out. The internet's going to disconnect from server. Oh.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, Star Citizen, you're supposed to be able to buy anything that you can get on the store in the game with in-game currency. And that sounds great because some of the stuff on the store is like $20,000 ships. I don't like the game that much, and I haven't even played it yet. Right? Like, who wants to do that? And this is on top of having your extra secret VIP store if you spend X amount of dollars, which Amy has covered like months back.
Oh yeah.
But
It's so stupid.
But this comes in at a time where they didn't put the actual runners in the game to buy. They just left it on the cash store. So it is literally the one thing you can't buy in game. And I think that they've backtracked since then. But I can't confirm that. Because, yeah, it's in the news, it's everywhere, and it's pretty shitty. So
I think it really highlights just how some developers, I won't say all of them, some developers see their fan base. They just see them as a source of income, and they don't see them as people who want to enjoy the game, who want to give them, the time for their game, and are just more interested in making as much money as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. It really is.
that's the way that rolls, though. But yeah, no, that's pretty much what we have for this week. I think there was something about Bungie, toxic corporate work stuff, but again, we're also talking about, I think Bungie's part of, isn't they part of Sony now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so it's whatever they're demanding. So let's move on to our top whatevers. Because the reason why I say this is because I have one top 10 and one top 8, and I want to show. We were going to choose one of them. We can either do the 10 best FPS games for non-FPS fans, or we do 8 bad games that were great with mods.
Ooh, both of those are good subjects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're pretty good, especially when we had a South Park FPS.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Dude, Stick of Truth and
No, not even that.
Mm-mm.
They had a
Well,
FPS,
Nintendo
like
64.
yeah, like Halo.
You literally shot eggs out of a chicken.
yeah, fun stuff.
It was nice.
So, what are we doing? 8 or 10?
Mhm.
I do not know.
Let's do the FPS. I think the FPS would be fun.
Okay, we'll do that then. So, 10 best FPS games for non-FPS fans, coming from DualShockers yet again. Number 10, Super Hot.
Super Hot is fantastic.
Yeah, here.
What
let
is
me-
Super Hot.
Oh, it
Super
is
Hot
amazing.
is a VR first-person shooter where you're literally put a VR headset on while you're playing VR, go into the game, and you're put into a white room and you shoot a whole bunch of polygonal creatures that are trying to kill you. It's fantastic.
It's people.
Very fun.
It's very tactical. I think it's an IME game.
It is.
It's
like
a
yeah.
It's a 9 out of 10, so, and I can confirm. And they have a sequel, which I want to play.
They do?
Yeah, there's Super Hot, and then there's another one.
I think I'll look it up because we play Super Hot a lot with our quest. It's fun.
Cool.
Super.
Number 9, I haven't heard about this one. It's called Boomerang X.
Boomerang X. No, never heard that one either.
Let's see here.
How long it takes to beat? 2 hours. That's probably why nobody's ever heard of it.
Well, there's something to be said about games that are replayable after like an hour. It's like Binding of Isaac. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Let's see here. Undeniable that
You
guns are
can
pretty
sink hundreds of
useful.
hours into Isaac, though.
However, it turns out that Mystical Boomerang is surprisingly serviceable alternative. Okay, has your playthrough short but very sweet, satisfying arena shooter, but instead of shooting, you be dashing through the air, performing, so forth and so on. Okay. Neon White is at number 8, is what we're looking at. That came out recently, within the last few years. I looked at it. It's a pretty game. Have you seen it?
It looks very pretty. Like, it looks like, is it like a card-based FPS? Okay, I'm gonna stop talking this time.
Yeah, no. it is a card.
Okay, I didn't hear anybody respond to me. I was like, did I cut out again? I'm not gonna do it again.
I was voting my dog off the island because he was busy whining. So.
Oh, okay. I was like, not again.
So, but so Neon White, that's supposed to be a pretty good one. Portal, I'm sure we all know Portal.
Classic Portal, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
It always has been.
Number 6, Deathloop. I've seen gameplay of this.
It
looks interesting.
I want to play Deathloop. I've heard so many things about it. Enjoy it.
Number 5 is Pistol Whip, and of course the subtitle
John Wick,
is
but
fun.
funky.
Yep.
I love it. That's a good selling point to me.
It looks like a VR game too, judging by the floaty gun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, is it a VR game? From
Yes.
Unity.
PC, PlayStation 4. Yeah, Meta Quest 2, 3, and yeah, it's supported.
Okay, cool, perfect.
Look that one up. That one was like fun.
Here's one that's most recent. Atomfall. It's like Fallout, but British.
Blimey! Literally.
I hear, and I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks really good. I kind of want to get my hands on it. Power Wash Simulator is a lot of fun. At number 3,
my friend Zan, he and I, my workout buddy, he talks about this game all the bloody time. He said
they have like all the crossovers. Like the crossovers are more than the actual base game. Like they have a Warhammer 40K power wash cleaner. Like,
no kidding.
Yeah, you can clean all the orcs off of your mechs.
Yep, I do have that DLC on my wish list, and I do have the game on my wish list as well.
Very nice. Mirror's Edge. I remember one of the first playthroughs I did when I started doing YouTube was Mirror's Edge, and I was so bad at it. You have no idea. But
Parkour.
It's a really good game though. It was very solid.
Mm-hmm.
And at number 1, Dishonored.
Wow. Yeah, Dishonored, I heard, is a really good game. It's very pretty too.
Oh yeah, I always played that game like super stealthy. So, but yeah,
I try, but y'all know me. I have to go loud.
Yeah. So there you go.
Do you even know what the word quiet means?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to, make sure.
Out of curiosity, let's do this other one.
Yes.
Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
What are we doing? 8 bad games that are good with mods? Let's see. Here's the thing.
Huh?
Here's the thing. Absolutely correct. Smash Brothers Brawl is a great game when some mods in there, because you can put some characters in there that you would love to play as, like, fucking Waluigi, the one character that I've always wanted as a DLC character, but now we're going to put him as a fucking trophy. We have Mario, Luigi, both princesses, and a freaking piranha plant, but we're not going to put Waluigi in the game.
Let's not even get into Geno.
They gave us Geno as a Wii Brawler skin. I was like, y'all can kiss the darkest side of my ass. I'm sorry. I'm done with y'all. Anyway, next.
Let's see here. Invented way to play, but what is Project Plus? This is the whole reason why we're even looking at this. Project M is a very iconic mod that completely overhauls Brawl and turns it into something more akin to its predecessor while keeping the new characters with some balance changes and reworking. That isn't the best mod. Project Plus has become the definitive way to play Brawl, offering improved physics on top of a healthy load of new content. Keep in mind, this is a modded game. So, Nintendo, this is like the worst list to publish. Sonic Adventure DX is at number 7.
Sitting there drooling right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thankfully, Brawl is the Wii version, like the Wii U version, so we're in the gray area. Anyway, Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, because they're not actively making money on it, so why bother?
Exactly.
So, yeah, number 7, Sonic Adventure DX. I've never played that one.
Not DX, no.
Not DX is here.
The Sims, of course, like, you can mod the hell out of The Sims and have so much fun with it. That's Classic mod boy.
Oh wow. Okay, so this is like 2 paragraphs. You might be wondering why someone who put Sonic Adventure as one of my favorite Sonic games, would put Sonic Adventure on the list. But it's simply the PC port of Sonic Adventure is some hot garbage. Okay,
Fair.
well there you go. The Sims 3 at number 6. It was interesting. Sims 3 was so much like The Sims 2. I didn't bother with like expanding it out because I think up to 2, I had bought every DLC that they had. It was a good game. I really liked it. I loved building the houses. I never really actually played the game to survive. So let's see here. But what mods did they put in on this one? Let's see here.
You can't even run the PC port on Windows 11 without modifications. Dang.
Oh wow, fan-made patch for the game to run it all, but while you're at it, you might as well go down the list of the massive document detailing all the fixes you could possibly want. Oh wow, okay, so again, the community fixed the AAA publisher's game, right?
Yeah, that usually how it
that
works.
usually happens at this point in these days.
Yep.
I mean, you literally can't play Vampire the Masquerade without mods. It's impossible.
True. Gary's mod is at number 5.
Gary's freaking mod, man. The birth of Skibbity.
Yep, it is the mod of mods.
We're gonna have a Michael Bay movement of Skibbity Toilet.
Yes, we are.
The movie is now under production, apparently.
Yep, that was also in our list. I forgot to pull that out, but I did call Nord's attention to it so he could tell his kid.
It's like by the time, maybe you nailed it on that, but by the time it actually comes out, that meme's going to be dead. So.
And it's going to be flushed down the toilet by that time.
Oh, there's your shot. Do it.
There
Nord.
it is. Going in.
I will hold until you tell me how delicious it is or how much you want
Bottoms up.
The Alabama Slammer, hosted by the Nordic Cajun. So, how did it go, Nord?
It tastes like fruit punch mixed with NyQuil.
Oh no!
So it's not the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth, but
it still tastes like depression.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Okay. Fallout New Vegas is at number 4.
Oh,
so not only was it the best of all the Fallouts, but it also has the best mods. How about that? What do they got
that
here?
Is should.
This year, at least nowadays, PC port of New Vegas is nigh unplayable without the very least throwing on a mod to prevent the endless number of crashes because Bethesda isn't interested in patching the game ever. Okay, so
because it just works.
That's a quality of life change. Spore. Who remembers Spore at number 3?
Spore.
Once in a while.
I played the crap out of some Spore. In fact, one of my first videos before I took on the moniker of Luminary Weekly was of a creature that I made dancing.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do they got? I remember Max's. I was hoping Max's would knock this out of the park, and it was good. It was just, it was a lot of everything, but not enough of each thing. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
The one part that nobody seemed to enjoy ever was the third phase. Wait, that one, the space phase. Because what I found in that game was it was just constantly having to fly back to your home world and settle stupid bullshit in the game because your world would just be like, no, I'm not going to be part of your empire anymore. So instead of doing the galactic expansion, you constantly had to go back and like beat people up and make it so they stop trying to rebel against you. It was a headache.
It was. There's a mod for it called Better Spore, and it completely overhauls the UI, makes it a hell of a lot more intuitive. It adds in unused creature creator parts, and completely overhauls the creature and space stages, and improves the game drastically. Like I really wished it was much better than what it was. Like again, it did a lot of things, but not a lot of each thing individually. So. This one's probably going to make Nord go off. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yes, I have been following the development of the Luminescent Platinum. It is a mod that they have been working on for a long-ass time, and it's a mod that I would love to try out, but I would have to actually do some things to my Switch that after the new agreement, I don't know if I'm brave enough to try. Um, but
Fuck you,
what
Nintendo.
they
What?
basically did is they took Diamond and Pearl. I think they used the Diamond version. And everybody complains about Diamond and Pearl's remakes being the worst remakes that Nintendo's ever put out because it literally took Platinum and made it worse. Platinum was a beautiful game back on the DS. They put that in the trash bin and just remade Diamond and Pearl with all the bugs and stuff that went along with it, including clipping outside to go find hidden legendaries that you can't. But for Pokemon Luminous and Platinum, they added every single Pokemon into the game from Gen 1 all the way up into Scarlet and Violet. They added Gigantamax, they added Mega Evolutions, they added everything that everybody loved from every single game, and they're adding it to this ROM hack. It is literally a Pokemon enthusiast wet dream of a mod. And it's
Yeah.
sad that these modders can do a better job at Pokemon than Nintendo and Game Freak can.
See, at least, Blizzard listened to the people that liked classic WoW or whatever and made, you know, made it a part of the game, and on top of that, made Season of Discovery. And then
Mhm.
freaking you have Nintendo, which is like, you get what we give you,
And you'll like it. I'm like,
or you
no.
get brick.
It says Pokemon on it. Obviously, you're gonna like it. Go buy it. It's $100.
I can think of a million other
Sit
things.
down, Brand.
I'll make a new
Shut up,
Pokemon
Brand.
for you. I'll make a new Pokemon for you. It's called Sugandis.
The shiny versions are called nuts.
There you go.
Yeah.
At number 1, Starbound. Who remembers Starbound?
I
Vaguely.
I
vaguely
do.
remember it. It looks like a Terraria knockoff.
It was okay. So it was like the game systems are similar to Terraria for sure, but you were also traveling planets. You had your own spaceship. You built your own colonies. There were inhabitants in places. There was all kinds of stuff to do. It was definitely, if you were to play the game, while it looks a lot like Terraria and operates a lot like Terraria, the actual gameplay and experience is not Terraria at all. It was really good. Right now, they've abandoned development on it, as far as I know, because I haven't seen any updates to it. And it's a buggy piece of shit right now. So, man. Let's see here. What mod do they put on here? This game is like if every complaint from the first release of No Man's Sky were implemented into a clone of Terraria.
Well, I was in the ballpark.
That's pretty brutal.
Yeah. With this, you can get mods to add a ton of new species, new flora, fauna, bland plants, completely rework the progression, and change up the movement to your liking, making the game feel entirely different. It doesn't feel like that mind-numbingly slow and boring experience when you have mods on. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. There's no particular one. It's just there's a bunch to make this buggy piece of shit playable. So
That's fair.
Yep. Okay. Well,
And
that's it.
oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was looking at the platform. It's like, is Xbox One and PC? I got you. Chucklefish. That sounds familiar.
Stardew Valley.
Ah, that's how I remember them.
And I think they had a hand in Terraria at some point. No, Chucklefish has had their hand in all kinds of stuff. And they're a
That's what she said.
they've got they're a decent publisher. So I mean, there it is. And that's it. I guess it's time for a round table and figuring out what we're doing afterwards. So round table. Let's start with the Cajunator.
Cajunator is looking forward to a few days off this week because of the holiday.
Oh, nice.
So excited I get to recover and not hate
What?
myself. Like, it's great.
No,
I don't have to
you're not
drown in
allowed to do
piss.
that.
I don't this fucking week I am.
No,
And
you're not allowed.
yeah, watch me. Don't believe me, just watch. And I talked to Lumi a little bit about it earlier. I'm planning on having a little surprise for us for the big 100.
Ooh.
Oh, it's going to be
Ooh.
Pilk Part 2. No, I don't know.
I mean,
Every
Publix
week.
is having a buy 2 get 3 free deal on Pepsi product. So
I don't have Publix down here.
Oh, before you do your next pilk, you should totally add lime juice to it, just so it turns into like a pilk compactor.
You guys are
Ooh.
gross. Just wrong.
I don't want curdled pilk.
Turtle
Yeah.
pilk. Yeah.
It's just a little chunky. It's not bad. It's just chunky.
Chunky monkey.
Yeah, you're feeling the wet curd slide into your mouth. There you go. So, anyway, what else you doing, Cajun? Is that it?
Now we have new poutine ideas. Cool.
Oh.
I mean, when Quebecers come after you, I'm not stopping them.
I'm gonna just post it on Twitter and be like, I'll do at Quebec and be like, hey, look, it's pilk poutine, guys. Oui, oui, hon hon.
On.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's not going to cause trouble.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's all right. They start beating down my emails. I'll know what happened. Okay. So, Cajun, anything
Yeah,
else?
it's gonna be a Quebec revolution.
Other than just working on some more artwork that I'm tiddling with, not really. Still trying to get my bearings on content that I want to create and get it out. It's just, I mean, sometimes when you get home, the computer's the last thing on your mind. It is the bed. So, that's how it's been for a few weeks.
Yep. We're so busy, we have to sacrifice other things to do the things we want to do. Amy, what's going on this week?
Space engineers, and a lot of it.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I don't have that yet. I know Bombardimer's all about the space engineers.
Yeah, he sucked me back into this game. God damn it.
I remember your array for stationeers for sure. So
yeah, so I did post something stupid on Reddit today, and I'm very proud of my stupidity. And that was that I want to build a drill system that can eat an entire moon. Now, the moons in Space Engineers are about 19 kilometers in diameter. And somebody was nice enough to do the math, and I'm actually going to go find their name really quick because they absolutely saved my butt because I didn't want to have to do any math at all. And every block, every large size block is 2.5 meters. So 2.5 meters divided by, or from 19,000 meters is 7,600 drills per side. So it'll end up being 7,600 by 7,600 for roughly, I think it was 5 million drills roughly. It was gross. It was a huge number. 57.76 million drills is what that drill face would be like. And apparently the game may crash before I can get that. However, the community is now behind me and wishing me luck in my endeavors of stupidity.
Nice. You had their full frontal support.
I full frontal support. What the fuck? So I will have to try to get this done, as best I can, because I think this will be funny. It's absolutely going to ruin my game, and I can't wait.
At least you're not having them be your rear guard.
Hey! Yes.
Take another shot. Go for it.
Got it.
good stuff. Crit. Your turn.
Lumi, it's the same thing I do every week. I'll play World of Warcraft and also cry into my studies.
That's real. All right.
What about you, Lumi?
Lumi, I start vacation this week for the next 4 weeks, but I'm working every Monday, so whatever, I don't care. It's a 1-day work week for 4 weeks. I'm down. Like, it's better than nothing. So
we love us a Lumi on vacation.
Yep.
You want to know something? I could potentially have 104 weeks of vacation.
Oh, that's exciting.
Ooh.
What are you gonna do with all that time?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Probably.
I would find a way if your HR will be able to cash it out.
Oh. No, I can't do that. No, it's no.
It's one of those take it or leave it type things, which I mean is not that bad of an offer anyway. So
I can't tell you how many times companies have told me that, but they pay out every December. You lose it, but you get the cash value for it. I think Walmart did that.
We'll see what
and a few other
happens in the future. It's still part of my quote-unquote recovery. Hee
places. There you go. At least you save up enough time to do all of that, so that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, recover and play WoWs.
There you go.
There you go.
As far as
Yeah,
me, for the next 4 weeks, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have a lot of time. I might actually spend, like, the time I would be working streaming. I have no idea.
Hey.
I won't know until that happens. I still have to survive the holiday because I am working the holiday in 2 days. But other than that, I don't really have much else going on other than just continuing to work on the website and continuing doing stuff for the podcast and waiting for server tags to become available for our servers so that way I can rock the UDP server tag. Like, that's kind of where I want to be. Well, look, I mean,
Server
like,
tag.
Imi has his aux, and I have my Discord.py one, but I don't have a UDP broadcast one.
I don't even know what all that is. I'm wondering if I should just be like crit.
No, it's some sort like it's a beta system right now, and if your server is eligible for it, you can actually get those things to show up. And yeah, it's for people who subscribe who boost the server. That's what it is. So if you're a server booster with your Nitro boost or whatever, then yeah, you're eligible for that stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah. Either way, so that's on the list. Beyond that, I don't really have much else planned. I'm actually more interested in not planning anything and actually having a vacation and work on stuff
Hell
that I just
yeah.
want to have fun with and stuff that I can be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this right now and do some other stuff. Yeah, it's just standard stuff, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that's it. Continue working on stuff and
Things.
So yeah, that's it. 98 done. Grumpy old people.
Woo,
That's what we are.
grumpy old
And boy, did
people.
we have some grumpy old peoples going on this
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Oh hell yes.
The Grumps.
Yep.
Not
So.
the gamer grumps.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a different.
Just
ball of
Grumps that are
wax.
gamers.
Yep. So that being said, don't forget to join us on Discord. I will drop that inside of the Twitch chat. It's discord.gg/the UDP broadcast.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like,
Ooh.
subscribe, and yeah, all that stuff. So yeah, every time you do, good things happen. At least 10% of it. So yeah, that's it. Okay, we'll see you next time for 99. I think Cajun said he's not going to be available next week. I'll see if I can find a replacement. If not, we could always take a week off. It really just depends. We'll see what happens and what the news looks like throughout the week. Okie dokie.
Until then,
Sounds
you guys
like a
stay
plan.
awesome. Until then, you guys stay awesome. You guys stay classy. And as always, don't be a dick.
Don't be a D.
That's right.
It's okay to have one. It's not okay to be one.
There
That's
you
it.
go. All right. Good
Because
night.
you know what happens when you're... Yeah.
Maybe we will not finish that sentence.
Instructions unclear. Okay, so have a good
Toaster
night, everyone.
now.
We
Poor
will
toaster. Oh my god, would somebody please think of the toasters?
I actually brought those up at work. We were promised toasters. My manager looked at me like, what? He's like, that's funny, but no.
But no. Okay. So for those of you on Twitch, hold tight. We're going to go visit Greedy Fails. And for everyone else, we'll see you next week.